Ladies and gentlemen, before I get to President Trump's new platform, I want to read you a TechCrunch article. Twitter confirms plans to experiment with new models like subscriptions in 2021. Why do you think Twitter is already on the ropes looking at subscriptions? Because nobody wants to take advantage. I mean, it's not growing fast enough. Its debt is increasing faster than it's growing. Or at least its debt is increasing faster than its revenues are growing, and nobody wants the free service. Why would you want to jump into a cyber reality, this Tron for morally superior apoplectic individuals that always condemn and demean and just insult you? And, it's a place where if you want to get mistreated, you can sign up and open up an account, and you'll get called every name possible for not agreeing with a specific vantage point. So even if you're on the left, let's say you're a Bernie Sanders supporter or a Jill Stein supporter, oh my God, you are going to get it from the President Biden's or Vice President Kamala Harris's supporters. It's not even only about being a Trump supporter. Or, it's not even about being a conservative, because you're obviously going to get heat for that. Twitter revolves around politics. One viewpoint of politics. Then you get into the subgroups, and there are different factions within the left. So let's say you're a Bernie Sanders supporter. Well, you're going to get into an argument about your Medicare for All plan as opposed to another person's Medicare for All plan. And this is all within the umbrella of President Biden literally saying he would veto a Medicare for All plan. Democrats, and then, of course, if you're somebody like, this man is heroic, Jimmy Dore, who is saying, hey, why don't you vote? Why don't you push for Medicare for All? Why doesn't AOC and Bernie Sanders push for a floor vote? Well, oh my God, he's trying to be divisive. He's horrible. He bought a house. Oh my God, this man is going to usher in the end of the universe. Twitter is a place where people can foster and amplify ideas and pretend they stand by these ideas, and then when pushed to really represent them, a person like Jimmy Dore saying, hey, now is the time. Democrats have the House, the Senate, the presidency. Why don't you just have a floor vote in the House? No. Oh my God, he's a horrible human being. That's just one example. It's not even about they're going for a subscription-based service, and President Trump's pretty much going to end the company as we know it with his new social media platform eventually. Could take 2 years, could take 5-6 years. It will be the MySpace. It will become the MySpace of political social media. But I gave the Medicare for All. I gave that example because it's not really about a political faction or side. Like, you're never safe on Twitter. You're never safe unless you abide by the prevailing mentality that one day, if you're like, I just gave the example on the left, but you could vote for President Trump, and then of course you will, I haven't been on Twitter for 3 years, so I don't know how it runs now, but I think it's like the same cauldron of discontent and unhappiness and angst. I haven't had a Twitter account for 3 years. But if you don't have the mentality, I'm just going to vote for blue no matter who, you're going to experience a whole lot of negativity. Okay? It's not like real life where you can just go to the supermarket or go and eat something at a restaurant and have people you don't know just respect your privacy. People you don't know on Twitter will be the most annoying individuals you've ever experienced in your life. It's a place where people you don't know try their best to ruin your day from fake and phony profiles. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Twitter confirms plans to experiment with new models like subscriptions in 2021. So I gave the example of Medicare for all. That's just obviously an idea on the left that Bernie Sanders and AOC simply prop up to funnel votes back into the Democratic Party. And Jimmy Dore called them out basically for who they are. Again, what drives me is I want Americans home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. President Trump brought Americans out of harm's way in numerous countries. He also, if you look at Afghanistan, he negotiated a deal May 1st, 2021. We're supposed to be out of that country. Biden will extend that. I want Americans home from never-ending military conflict and quagmires. I think that is the biggest moral dilemma we face in the country. Leaving Americans within a powder keg in a region that is essentially a powder keg with a whole bunch of countries with their own national interests, within. It's a horrible situation. The potential for mission creep, where God forbid something takes place and we have to send more Americans there and begin everything all over again after 20 years, that's a very, very serious issue that we should address as a country. We should bring home all the Americans that are stationed there. And not just in that country, in numerous countries. President Trump withdrew Americans from Syria, and still intelligence agencies and others lied to him and said, oh, okay, we didn't give him the numbers. And there are still more Americans there than he thought. So I get something from President Trump voting for Trump. In addition to, we had record low unemployment throughout most of his tenure. The worst outcomes and the highest unemployment rates, 13 of the highest unemployment rates in the country, are in Democratic-run states. Not Trump's fault. But here, I want to read you this. And I'm going to explain how President Trump, his new platform, could expedite the demise of Twitter. Twitter is continuing to explore the addition of subscription services and other paid features to supplement its advertising revenues because they're tanking. I mean, they're not growing as fast as they should. According to a report from Bloomberg this morning, the company is considering a range of ideas, the report said, including tipping, paid consumer-facing features like profile customizations, and an undo send option. That doesn't matter. The screenshot's going to be instantaneous. If somebody really wants to, if you have a whole bunch of subscribers, you're never safe. Anything that you say can be used against you, just like the Miranda rights. Anything you say will be used against you, can and will be used against you to ruin your life. That's Twitter, or subscription-based access to Twitter's tweet app. Okay, so Twitter confirmed the company is researching and experimenting with new models. So I believe they already started, or no, they're almost about either started or they're almost about to start the subscription model. Okay, the people who started this company don't care. They're either billionaires or one billionaire, or they're worth millions upon millions of dollars. They don't care if it goes under. The Democratic Party will pretty much cease to exist in its current form if Twitter does go under, and I think that Twitter, the writing's on the wall for Twitter. President Trump, if he is smart, and he doesn't, he's not, if he shies away, or if he doesn't engage in rhetoric that is insulting, okay? The trap that President Trump got into was the following. His words gave Democrats political momentum, energy, enthusiasm. You can't have that. That's like Twitter. People went on Twitter to see what Trump was saying. Now they're going to actually go on Twitter to find out what he's saying on his own platform. But what he should do, instead of generating that enthusiasm that Democrats are lacking even now, they're like yawning at Biden's presidency. He has all of these crises that media is now sweeping under the rug. There's no outrage. There's no discussion of cruelty. There's not even any reporting. There's basically a complete lack of reporting. So journalists were they gave Trump like this colonoscopy, so to speak, in terms. Basically, they never let Trump have one moment of peace. They never let him have one moment of peace. Not only are they allowing President Biden to have all the peace and tranquility that he needs, they're not even reporting. And they're not talking about any potential cruelty that's taking place, any pitfalls from his policies. There are scandals and controversies right now, okay? Especially what's taking place at a certain region, southern region of the country, where Yad Vashem had to refute AOC's revisionist history, saying, learn more about the topic, a topic she should never talk about again, because she was trying to compare facilities at that location that Biden is using, that President Obama used, to a time period that even Yad Vashem in Jerusalem said, yeah, learn more about the topic. Then, of course, she was looking into the horizon in a photo where you're like, well, why don't we see what she's looking at? The public relations spin, and there were missteps with President Trump's policies. Okay, I was against separation. I'm against the separation, but he ended that policy. He ended that policy in 2018. Okay, but there's a Senate report that President Biden might fall into exactly what President Obama did, or he might continue inadvertently, or maybe as a policy what President Obama did, which I can't even talk about. There's a Senate report that's actually worse. If you can imagine something worse than the separation, which was absolutely horrendous, I was against that. President Obama did worse when it came to that topic than Trump. Much worse. And they say, well, it was just one incident. The Senate report talks about thousands of individuals. So look at the Senate report. Again, you can't really... I can lead you there. I can't discuss it because it's not part of guidelines. I'm always very cognizant of YouTube guidelines. But anyway, what President Trump needs to do, seeing that there's a double standard, seeing that all of media is propping up the Democratic Party, all of social media, every algorithm possible, especially Twitter, what he needs to do is make sure that he, in his new social media company, doesn't give them any ammunition, so to speak, to get that machine going, to get that political momentum they lack from just looking at what Biden's doing. Because they don't even they don't have the same they don't have a value system. It's just, a Democrat's in office, so okay, no problem. And then you have the far left saying, oh, well, you know what, we don't even like what Democrats are doing. It's like, yeah, you're okay. You're okay with what Democrats are doing. You don't have the same outrage. Even when there are examples of what Democrats do that are far worse than what Trump did. You're talking about a great many hypocrites. And what President Trump needs to do is understand that there is a double standard. He needs to run the social media company in a way, or at least voice his viewpoints in a way that he did in 2014. 2014 and 2015, President Trump was able to voice his viewpoints as offering a different vantage point to the country and to the world. People aren't happy with what Biden's doing now on many fronts. If he could just simply voice, because there are going to be a lot, there's going to be a lot of people who will say, I don't like Trump's personality. I don't even care if I don't like Biden. I'll just take Biden. President Trump needs to reach those people. There are people, a lot of people, who actually, if President Trump just calmed down a little, I want him to win. 4 years from now, I want him to run and win. Okay? Because I think foreign policy, President Trump's foreign policy was infinitely better than President Obama's and infinitely better than Bush's. And infinitely better than Biden's right now. Took 1 month to show the world who Biden is. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. If President Trump does what he needs to do with his new social media company, it'll be the end of Twitter. Be here, I'd say about 5-6 hours or 7 hours for the next upload. I might have a live stream this evening, but stay tuned.